Okay, good morning and namaste to all. Um, let's do our prayers before we start the class. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitra Varenayam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Asto Ma Satgamya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya Mrityorma Amritam Gamya ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्वी नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्वेषावहि ओम शांति 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 ओम. So in Thursday's classes we are studying Avadhuta Gita. Avadhuta Gita. So we are on chapter 3, verse number 6. That's where we ended our last Thursday's class. Where Dattatreya is saying Brahm is neither gross nor subtle. Neither does it appear nor disappear. It is without beginning, middle, and end. There is no higher or lower in Brahma. Indeed, I am proclaiming the truth, the ultimate reality. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as space. Jnana amritam samrasam gagnopmam aham. So now let's see what he says in number 7. Samvidhi sarva karnani nabho nibhani samvidhi sarva vishyam cha nabho nibham cha samvidhi cha ekam amlam nahi bandh muktam ज्ञान अमृतम समरसम गगन उपमः aham. Some vidhi. Vidhi means to know. Some means fully. So fully, know fully. Sarv karnani. All instruments of perceptions. Sarv karnani. See, karan means instruments. Nabho nibhani, same as space. Samvidhi, know it as the same. Sarva Vishyam, all topics, all Vishay. Cha means and, Nabho Nibham, objects of perception. Cha means and, Samvidhi, fully known. Ekam, one self. Amalam, free from impurity. See, mal means waste matter, impurity. So, amal means free from impurity. Nahi, not, therefore. Bandh, bondage. Sam means one. Oh, no, sorry. Bandh means bondage. Muktam means freedom. Then last line. Gyan is knowledge. Amritam, immortal nectar. Sam means one. Rasam, essence. Gagan, sky. Upamaha, like. Aham, I am. Know it for certain. So that means know it completely, without any doubt, that the sense organs and the sense objects are like clouds in the sky. Realize the shining one as neither bound nor free. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as space. Okay. Only the manifested thing can be bound. And then we can say if something is bound, we can say it's free. Atma, Brahma is beyond that. And what does it mean? Like clouds in the sky. Clouds in the sky, they can move anywhere they want to. They are not bound. Lord Krishna said in Gita, feelings of heat and cold, pleasure and pain are caused by the contact of the senses with their objects. They come and go, never lasting long. Endure them. Endure them. This was in chapter 2, verse number 14. Then again in chapter 5, verse number 22, he says, for the enjoyment that arise from contact with objects are only sources of pain. They have a beginning and an end, and the wise find no delight in them. Because when we are looking for the delight in the objects, any kind of object, it could be gross, it could be subtle. That's how we get bondaged. So Atma is beyond that. If it's not bondage, then there's no question of liberation. So know it for certain that the sense organs and the sense objects are like clouds in the sky. They come, they disappear. Do not pay too much attention to them. Objects are there for a purpose, not for us to get attached to them. This is what we have to remember when we do our sadhana. We don't have to run towards the objects, and we don't have to run away from the objects. We got to do the sadhana no matter where we are. We know who we are. Then he says in the next one, Durbodh bodh gahana na bhavami tat. Durlakshya hai lakshya gahana na bhavami tat. Asanna roop gahana na bhavami tat. Gyan amritam samrasam gagan upama ahama. Durbodh. Durbodh, something which you cannot understand, unfathomable. Bodh, knowledge. Gahana, inaccessible. Na means not, bhavami, I am. Tat, child. Durlakshya, difficult to be perceived. Lakshya, perceptible. Again, gahan means inaccessible. Na bhavami, I am not. Tat, child. Asan, close, like an immediate. Roop means form. Gahan, inaccessible, or something you cannot explain. Na bhavami, I'm not. See, sometimes this accessible could be physically, sometimes this accessible could be intellectually. Tat means child, Gyan means knowledge, Amritam, immortal nectar, Sam means one, Rasam, essence, Gagan, sky, Upama, like, Aham, I am. Okay? I know you are trying to write the meanings of these Sanskrit words also. So I'll definitely go slowly because some of these words are, when you translate into English, it's a long word. It takes time to write. Okay. So, oh dear one, see tat. Tat means dear also. Tat word is used for son also, for child also. Anybody we feel love towards. And these teachings cannot be done without love. There's a love has to be there. That's why a guru is he who teaches us lovingly. Lovingly. That has to be skillfully, definitely, but lovingly. See, all those three criteria got to be there. And we see that Dattatreya very lovingly and very skillfully, and he's not asking anything from us other than just we should practice it. And practice we must do for our own benefit. Okay? So he says, oh dear one, I am neither inscrutable nor inaccessible to the intellect. I am neither imperceptible nor inaccessible to perception. I am neither near nor impenetrable to sight. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as space. Okay, this is what we learn in other scriptures also. Atma is something beyond our intellect, beyond our senses, even though it's right here. Okay? Nishkaram karam dahana jwalnaha bhavami. Nirdukha dukh dahana jwalna bhavami. Nirdeh deh dahana jwalna bhavami. Gyan amritam samrasam gagan upama aham. Nishkaram, without action, or that means beyond action. Nishkaram. Karam is action. Dahana, burning. Jwalana. Jwalan means fire or flame. Bhavami, I am. Nirdukha, beyond sorrow, beyond pain, or without pain, painless. Nirdukh. Dukh means pain. Dahana, burning. Jwalana, fire or flame. Bhavami, I am. Nirdeha, free from body, like a devoid of body. Deha is the body. Dahana, burning. Jwalana, flame. Bhavami, I am. Gyan is knowledge. Amritam, the immortal nectar. Sam means one. Rasam, essence. Gagan, sky. Upama, like. Aham, I am. So last line is the same in the entire, almost entire chapter. Okay, that's how it's like a beautiful poetry. In poetry, we see the repetition, and that's what Dattatreya has done. The, such a philosophy, deep philosophy, put it into the poetry so that we enjoy it. And while enjoying it, when you enjoy something, only then you can practice it too. So some of these verses, if they are simple enough for you, memorize them. While doing some of the chores, recite them. But with a full understanding, though, what are you reciting? Not just recitation for the sake of recitation. Okay? So he says, I am that fire of knowledge which consumes all actions of the actionless Atma. I am that fire of knowledge which destroys all sorrows of the sorrowless Atma. Okay, so that means this Gyan Agni can consume everything. And then we'll know who we are, because it does not consume the Atma. It cannot consume Atma. No Agni can consume Atma. So I am that fire of knowledge which consumes all actions of the actionless Atma. I am that fire of knowledge which destroys all sorrows of the sorrowless Atma. I am that fire of knowledge which burns up all bodies of the bodiless Atma. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as a space. So that fire, that is the key word over here. That fire. Truly, the Atma is free from action, it's free from sorrow, and free from any kind of a body. Because we have learned that all of these, whether they're action of the body or the sorrow, these are all superimpositions on the Atma. And how did they get superimposed? With the power of Maya. But the beauty is that fire of knowledge, this Gyan Agni, it consumes all superimpositions, all the karam also, all the dukh also, all the bodies also. And what are these bodies? Gross body, subtle body, causal body. All the bodies get consumed. And what remains? Only Atma, which is part of Brahman. This is the beauty of this Gyan, Gyan Agni. That's why Swadhyaya is so important. Because this is the very first stage where we get this Gyan. That's why we go to Guru. We bend our head down, we say that, Guru, please give us some Gyan. There's only one job for a Guru, to give a Gyan. And this kind of a Gyan, Gyan of the Atma. And this is what Dattatreya is giving it to us in this beautiful word, scripture. Nishpap pap dahana hi hutaashna aham nirdharam dahana hi hutashan aham nirbandha band dahana hi hutashan aham Gyan amritam samrasam gagan upma aham. Nishpap, that means sinless. Pap is sin. Dahana, burning. He means indeed Hutashnaha. Hutashan means a sacrificial fire. Hutashan. Aham, I am. Nirdharam, free from virtue. Dahana, burning. He means indeed. Hutashan means fire. Aham, I am. Nirbandha. Bandh is the bondage, free from bondage. Now, next word is bandh, bondage. So, nirbandh is free from bondage. Bandh is the bondage. Dahana, burning. He means indeed Hutashan, fire. Aham, I am. And last line, Gyan means knowledge. Amritam, immortal nectar. Sam means one. Rasam means essence. Gagan, sky. Upama, like. Aham, I am. I am that fire of knowledge, which wipes out all sins of the sinless. Okay, so this Gyan Agni is nothing but the knowledge of the Atma. This is Gyan Agni. It's not a physical Agni, it's not a subtle Agni. It is a light of the Atma. In that light, all the flaws, all the waste, all the sins, they burn. I am that fire of knowledge which wipes out all sins of the sinless Atma. I am that fire of knowledge which destroys all attributes of the attribute-less Atma. Okay? So dharam really means attributes also. I am that fire of knowledge which annihilates all bonds of the unbound Atma. So in essence, Atma is not bound. It's unbound. There is no dharam for the Atma. Normally, what do we say? That what is our dharam? The qualities, the virtues, the good deeds. But why do we do those? Not for the Atma. Dharam is for the body. Dharam is for the relationships. Dharam is towards our country. The dharam is towards our family. Dharam is towards everything else. There's no dharam for the Atma. That's why Lord Krishna, what did he say? Sarvadharman paritajye, mam ekam sharnam vraj. So when he said that, he really meant that all of these attributes, that weight you are carrying, just let it go. Just come to me. So I am that fire of knowledge which wipes out all sins of the sinless Atma. There's no flaw in the sin, really means obstacle or the flaw. There's no flaw in the Atma. Okay? It's all pure, nothing but pure. I am that fire of knowledge which destroys all attributes of the attributeless Atma. That's why for Avadhuta, there's no dharma. He has gone beyond these dharams. And I am that fire of knowledge which annihilates all bonds of unbound Atma. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as space. That's what we are. We have just forgotten who we are. We think that we are bound and we need to do something extraordinary to become boundless. No. We got to just know ourselves. Know ourselves. Nirbhav bhav rahita na bhavami vats. Niryog yog rahita na bhavami vats. Nischal chit rahita na bhavami vats. Gyan amritam samrasam gagan upama ahama. Nirbhav. Bhav is the thought. So free from thought. Bhav also has a meaning of existence. Okay, so it's like a thought of existence, and bhav is the existence. Rahita, free from. Na bhavami, I'm not. What's, oh child? Niryog, absence of unity. Yog means the union. So niryog means absence of union, unity. And yog is the unity. Rahita, free from. Na bhavami, I am not. What's, oh child? Nishchal. Nishchal means, see, what really moves? It's the mind. So over here, Nishchal means without mind. And then he says, Chit, mind. So whether you say Nishchit or Nishchal, same thing. And Chit means mind. Rahita, free from. Na bhavami, I'm not. What's his child? Gyan, knowledge. Amritam, immortal nectar. Sam means one. Rasam is essence. Gagan is sky. Upama, like. Aham, I am. Oh, my dear child, I am neither free from thought nor am I with thought. I am neither separated nor am I united. I am neither without mind or do I have a mind. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as space. According to the Vedantic philosophy, when an individual soul merges with Nirgun Brahm, that means Brahm without attributes, he is beyond thought and mind. Okay, that's why we got to learn how to transcend our mind, transcend our thoughts. And again, when he is within Sagun Brahma, Brahma with attributes, names, and form, he has a mind and he thinks. So whether you are a worshipper of a Sagun Brahma or a Nirgun Brahma, all you have to do is let go of the personality layers. Personality layers. Idea is to unite our Atma with the Paramatma, with the help of the Sagun or with the help of the Nirgun Brahma. Doesn't matter. This is the point Dattatreya is trying to make. Okay, because this debate has been there always. Which one is better? So he's just very clearly telling us either one, they both are same. Idea is for you to detach yourself from these lower layers of your personality and identify yourself with the Atma and only Atma. Whether a form helps you or a formless helps you, doesn't matter. Nirmoha moha padviti na me vikalpaha निशोकः शोक पद्विति न में विकल्पः निर्लोभ लोभ प्रवृत्ति न में विकल्पः ज्ञान अमृतम समरसम गगन उपमा अहम. So you can see this how poetic the whole scripture is, and the language is not difficult. Nirmoha, free from a delusion. Moha is a delusion, free from delusion. Moha is delusion or illusion, same thing. Padviti, one who has a status. Padvi. So if you break it down, it means Padvi, iti, position. Padvi. Na me, not my. Vikalpaha. Vikalp is a doubt or ignorance. That's a vikalp too. Nishoka, free from sorrow. Shok is the sorrow. Padviti. It's like a going towards the way of a status. Na me, not my. Vikalp, ignorance. Nirlobh, free from possessiveness. See, normally we say lobh, it's a greed also. But greed is always about possessing something, owning something. And you want to own more and more. Lobh is greed, possessiveness. Again, Padviti, one who has a status. Na me, not my. Vikalpaha, ignorance. Dhyan is knowledge. Amritam, immortality. Sam means one. Rasam means essence. Gagan, sky. Upama, like. Aham, I am. In myself, there are no such alternatives as delusion or lack of delusion. So self, this self is the soul we are talking about. Not the lower self, but the higher self with a capital S normally we write. Atma. So in myself, there are no such alternatives as delusion or lack of delusion. Grief or lack of grief. Greed or lack of greed. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless space. Okay. So all of these things, whether we talk about the grief or whether we talk about the greed or we talk about delusion, they are at the Some of them can be at the physical level or a mental level, intellectual level, not in the Atma, not in the Atma. So if we think that in our personality, all of this has taken roots, that means we got to do the sadhana. We have moved away from our real self, who we are. Whether it's a delusion or whether it's a greed or whether it's a grief, all of them. So we got to do sadhana in the proper way. Then number 13, संसार संतति लता न च मे कदाचित संतोष संतति सुखा न च मे कदाचित अज्ञान बंधनम इदम न च मे कदाचित ज्ञान अमृतम समरसम गगन उपमा अहम. Sansar is this worldly existence, is called sansar. Santati. Santati means a continuity or expanse. Lata. Lata is a creeper. Na means not, cha me and mine. Kadachit, ever. Santosh. You're all familiar with this term. Contentment, santosh. This is a virtue we all need to cultivate. Santosh. Santati, continuity. Sukh, happiness. Na, cha, me. Na means not, cha means and, me means mine. Kadachit, ever. Agyan, ignorance. Bandhanam, bondage. Idam means this. Na means not. Cha, me and mine. Kadachit, ever. Then last line. Gyan, amritam, knowledge, immortality. Some means one. Rasam, essence. Gagan, sky. Upma, light. Aham, I am. Okay. So if you have studied Sanskrit in your middle school, high school, we are all familiar with these terms. Okay? So I am never bound by the creeper of continuous birth and death. Okay? It's a creeper, like a bale. Birth and death, birth and death. This is, I am never bound by the creeper of continuous birth and death. Neither the immense joy of contentment nor the bondage of ignorance are in me. See, these qualities we need to cultivate to rise above our mind and intellect and ego. But these qualities are not part of Atma. So neither the immense joy of contentment nor the bondage of ignorance are in me. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as space. Then in number 14 he says, संसार संतति रजा च मे विकारः संताप संतति तमान च मे विकारः सत्वं स्वधर्म जनकम न च मे विकारः ज्ञान अमृतम समरसम गगन उपमा अहम. Again, sansar is worldly existence. Santati, continuity. See that santan word has come from santati, santan, right? It's a continuity of us. That's why when we see our grandchildren doing well, it's like a continuity of our existence. We think they give us pleasure or pain, either way. Raja, activity. Na means not, cha means and, me means of me. Vikaraha, modification. Santap, anguish. Santati, continuity. Tamaha means darkness. Na means not, cha, me, and mine. Vikaraha, modification or effect. Sattvam, purity. Swadharam, duty. Janakam, producing. Na means not, cha, me, and me. Vikaraha, modification. Gyan is knowledge, amritam, immortality. Sam means one, rasam, essence, gagan, sky, upma, light, aham, I am. The continuation of the world or the perpetuations of the world is the modifications of rajas and not of me. The series of suffering is the modifications of tamas and not of me. Happiness is the modification of sattva and not of me. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as is space. How Dattatreya has condensed the knowledge of the Satvikta, Rajsikta, Tamsikta, which Lord Krishna gave us in throughout Bhagavad Gita. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, they are the three guns which constitute Prakriti, the nature. They are not part of the Atma or Paramatma. See, there are three P's, remember. Prakriti, Purusha, and Parmeshwar. Right? So Prakriti has these three guns, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Purush, the Atma, Purush is another term for the Atma, does not have these, and this is what he is telling us. And of course, Paramatma does not, or Parmeshwar does not. So Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas are the three gunas which constitute Prakriti. When these guns are in perfect balance, there is no creation, there is no expression, and there is no manifestation. Okay? So let's say complete stability, nothing, no churning, nothing is happening. So that's why I said there's no creation, there's no expression, or there's no manifestation. When the balance is disturbed, creation occurs. So that means there's a little disturbance, there's a little halchal in the Prakriti. And this phenomena is very beautifully explained by Rishi Patanjali in Yoga Darshan. Okay? Sattva represents happiness, calmness, and purity. Okay? So this happiness is in relation with the Prakriti, because Sattvika has to do with the Prakriti. We are learning, we feel good about it. That is Sattvika. But Sattvika in relation to the Prakriti. So Sattva is good, definitely. It gives us calmness, it gives us purity, it gives us happiness. But then before we know, Rajas comes up. Rajas represents restlessness, passion, and activity. You are sitting beautifully, studying something, enjoying it. Somebody calls you. Activity. That's Rajsikta. Somebody says, I'm going to come visit you. You cannot say no, and you got to get up and do something about it. Either cook or clean or change clothes or whatever you have to do. That's Rajsikta. And then Tamas represents laziness, inertia, and stupidity. Okay? But all of these three, they belong to the Prakriti, not to the Atma. This is the point he's making over here. Sansar, Santati, Raja, Chame Vikara. Santap, Santati, Tamana Chame Vikara. Sattvam Swadharma Janakam Nachame Vikara. So they are all Vikar. And these Vikar are not in me. They are in the Prakriti. Then he says, Santap Dukh Janakaha Na Vidhi Kadachit. Santap Yog Janitam Na Manaha Kadachit. Yasmad Ahankriti Iyam Na Chame Kadachit. Gyan Amritam Samrasam Gagan Upama Aham. Santap, anguish. Dukh is sorrow. Janak means the cause. See, Janak also means a father. Father means a cause. Na means not, vidhi means action, kadachit, ever. Santap, anguish. Yog is unity. Janitam, produced. Na manaha, not mind. Kadachit, ever. Yasmat, since, or like from which. Ahankriti, egoism. Iyam means this, na means not, cha means and, me means mine. Kadachit, ever. Gyan is knowledge. Amritam, immortality. Sam means one. Rasam means essence. Gagan means sky. Upamaha, like. Aham, I am. I never performed any action because Atma does not perform any action. I never performed any action which could generate anguish and misery. I never had a mind which could function by the contact of pain and pleasure. I have no source of ego in me. I am existence, knowledge, bliss, and boundless as space. So who does all this? Who is doing the action? Body is doing the action. Who is creating the sorrow and the misery and feeling it also? It's the mind. So whether it's a physical body or it's a mind or the intellect or the ego, they are not in the Atma. Atma is altogether pure, separate, which doesn't have any of it. And this is what we are. And this is what we need to experience, who we are. So when we do the meditation, at least at that time, recognize yourself, who you are. Last week we did a little guided meditation. See, sometimes guided meditation is okay, but we should not get dependent upon the guided meditation. We should be able to do it on our own. Because if we become dependent, then we don't get how we're going to feel our own independence. But every day when you meditate, make sure you regulate your breath. Regulation of the breath is important. When you regulate your breath, you will see that your mind is in your hands. And that's why I always tell you, when you meditate, make sure your back is straight. When the spine is straight, you'll be more aware. Otherwise, also, not only during meditation, when we are studying also, when we are doing something, if your back is not drooping, you are more alert. You are more aware. So make a habit of keeping your back straight, at least for meditation and the prayers. When you regulate your breath, your mind will be relaxed. Relaxed mind, you can really very comfortably let it go. Tense mind, you cannot let it go. And then the very first thing you need to do after that, or I should say, first thing that, and the second thing, imagine a light. You can have a chanting of Om if you want to, or just do your own chanting, whatever works for you. You can do it with your mouth, or you can just do it mentally. So use that light, first the breathing, sitting straight, imagining the light in your heart. Heart is easier. You can imagine the light here, 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 wherever you want to. Actually, light is everywhere. But heart is little easier. That's why we did that in the heart last time. But if you feel more comfortable here, do it that way. Okay? So let's try to meditate for a few minutes. Make sure you're sitting straight. And today I'm going to put that chanting for you so that you can meditate. You all have that chanting. Every day, make sure you meditate. Every single day. Yesterday, we talked about it. In our general topic also, the topic came of meditation. When we study Bhagavad Gita, we talk about meditation. No matter what we study, there's a meditation. So we got to start doing it. Okay? So make sure your back is straight. Your hands in a very relaxed position on your knees or in your lap, wherever they feel comfortable, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Just breathe in and out mindfully. Focus on your breath. Don't change the rhythm of your breathing. Just only pay attention to your breathing. Bring your attention towards the heart center. Imagine beautiful light, light which is expanding. Focus on that light with this Om chanting. पूर्णदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।